Welcome back, guys, to the Heroes Hype Challenger Series. We hope you enjoyed your Pikas. I know I sure did. It's always fun listening to the Pikachu song. But now it's time to get serious, because this could be our last game, Anna.
I mean, not too serious. Never too serious to raise our Pikas here at Heroes Hype.
Never too serious.
We do have Game 2 of Panda Global versus Team Blaze. Team Blaze has been employing a scorched earth strategy here. They've just been bowling through today on this semifinal and final match of the Heroes Hype Challenger Series. But we'll see if Panda Global can come up with something to do to stop them. And actually, Gilly, the first ban from Team Blaze is going to be Zagara, who they used to great effect in the last game. So they are denying Panda the opportunity to ban it from them or steal it from them.
First of all, Anna, I think what you were looking for is to say that Team Blaze has been on fire this match and these series today.
Would you say also, they're hot today?
They are a hot commodity indeed. But yeah, so the Zagara ban, I feel like we saw them when they had to first ban in Game 1 last series. I feel like they banned Zagara then, or maybe it was a Kael'thas, but no, I think it was a Kael'thas. So they banned Zagara, and look who is available. Look who is up. Abathur is going to be banned here. It makes a lot of sense. Two very good push-centered heroes, but this does mean that Zeratul is available. Panda Global, I hope you're ready to play versus the Dark Prelate himself.
Well, Panda is going to respond by snapping up Jaina and Kael'thas. So they feel apparently differently than we did, which was that Zagara and Arthas were the really most important players so far for Team Blaze.
Well,
and they're going to just get those damage dealers, and there's Leoric. I would not be surprised to see an Arthas join him.
No, I mean, I wouldn't either. They could get an Arthas. All right, so what are they sacrificing if they get Arthas right here? If they don't get Arthas, then I feel like Panda will ban him or pick him up in the next round. But they would be sacrificing supports. They've shown that they can make Lily work just fine with this support or with this comp. So that doesn't really seem to be a problem. They might be sacrificing another damage dealer. No, they are going to go for Uther. So they're not willing to play with Lily. Either they don't want to play with Lily this time around, or they don't want to allow Panda to get Uther. One of those two things.
Yeah, Uther with Jaina and Kael'thas definitely would be nice for Panda Global, so that makes a lot of sense. Uther also very tanky in his own right, so that's going to add to the survivability there. I think you were right earlier to predict that we would still have a dual warrior with Leoric. I would not be surprised to still have Arthas, but then what you have is just Zeratul to deal the damage, no potential of Zagara, and that starts to take away from what you can do in a team fight, but we've seen them really like Sylvanas as well. If they added Sylvanas on top of that, then this again could be that split push composition. Though, last thing, we still don't see Vikings. And that I think we could see from either of these teams.
We could. We definitely see them the most on Garden of Terror, but the next one would be Sky Temple. You're completely right. So that is a possibility. I think Panda are seriously like, guys, are we banning Arthas right now? Like, is this a thing that we're doing? Because the other thing they could do is they could ban a damage dealer. No, they're going to do it. They are banning Arthas right now.
All right, well, Team Blaze had to know that was potentially going to happen. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have a backup plan. Who do you think might be their backup secondary warrior, or do you think they'd consider not having one?
I think they would prefer Muradin over Johanna. I don't really know about the Johanna-Leoric synergy as much as like a Muradin. Let's see. Looking at it, who else could we get? Could we, bear with me right now, we have Stitches, right? Who, like, gets in there, drops the bile, and then, like, March of the Black King. I mean, obviously they like March of the Black King. I don't know. It definitely wouldn't work as well as Arthas. But maybe if they're going for the same thing, or maybe they choose to go for, like, Muradin here, and then they maybe even pick up Entomb instead. they're gonna have to get another damage dealer. That's for sure.
I mean, and we've largely ignored the composition that's happening over here for Panda Global. But the reason is because the synergy is obvious. I mean, the power is obvious. Jaina and Kael'thas, well known as some of the most valuable damage dealers. Johanna as one of the most sustainable and great initiating tanks. And then Tassadar, of course, with vision, especially here on Sky Temple, is going to be great. But he can lane by himself really well, which is something that Panda Global watched Team Blaze do with Zagara, too. So... yeah. There's going to be a lot of utility here for Panda Global that Team Blaze is really going to have to answer to.
Yeah, not only that, Tassadar has shields to try to help keep Jaina and Kael'thas alive. Like, at this point, Jaina and Kael'thas just need heals. They can throw out all the damage you could possibly need. It's just keeping them alive. So Tassadar is going to help with that. He also could possibly get Mule. Oh my gosh, I can't believe what I'm seeing here. He could also get Mule. He could also get... mental acuity. So his Oracle is going to be absolutely a necessity in trying to spot where Zeratul is, keeping Blaze from getting some good Void Prisons.
I felt those Vikings coming, Gilly. I felt it in my bones, in my Viking horns.
That's some caster hype right there when you get that right.
Yeah, so I think we're going to see a grab for that early experience lead again from Team Blaze, like we saw last time, where they knew that they really wanted to hit 16 before their opponents. And on Sky Temple, using the Vikings is a great way to do that. You can have them in the lanes that are so hard to run in between. I am excited to see how they use that. But like you said, not knowing what you see here, there are so many things that I could see them doing with this final pick. Do you have a prediction?
I want false out. I think it's probably Mivala. But there it is.
Well
Bam! Vikings, if you're not going to have another warrior, I feel like Uther Vikings is nice. That Blaze do have. Uther, pretty tanky for support. He's a good frontliner. Vikings are going to be in the front line, kind of doing the body blocking that another warrior would be doing. It's not going to be the cool Arthas, Leoric engage, but they're going to have a lot of ability to kind of mitigate that by having Vikings. And then Vala will be in the back line, throwing out some damage.
Do you think Team Blaze is going to be more interested in dominating the objectives on this battleground or in dominating engagements? Of course, they both have overlap with each other, but which do you think they're going to be really looking to do with this composition?
Engagements, because if they can pick somebody off with Zeratul, like get a good Void Prison, pick off a couple of people, then they can, after that, go for the objectives. And especially because they've got the Vikings who can sit in the lanes and soak. Like, they're not going to be over-committing to temples when they've got the Vikings in lane, because they will be kind of fighting 4v5. If they can split up Panda and take an engagement, they will, but I don't think we'll see them like all moving toward a temple, or especially early on where they still can get an experience lead thanks to those Vikings.
Well, on Sky Temple, as I mentioned, this is the largest battleground. There's going to be a lot of space between lanes. The teams are going to be looking to claim temples at the top, middle, and bottom of the map. Those temples will reward them by shooting lasers at their opponent's structures, and that is a great way to gain experience and also knock down structures on the way to your opponent's core. So we're going to see these teams predicting those temples spawning, because they do spawn in a predictable order. A lot of times we see some trading on those temples, that teams are willing to just let one go in order to take some other objective or advantage on the map, or just to protect themselves. And this is going to be a really interesting match, Gilly.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what Panda can do to try to get themselves to late game. And by that I mentioned Mule. I think that will probably be a good possibility, because they've got that Kael'thas. They've got a very late game-oriented team. And what Blaze can do to try to do so much damage early on that they can just kind of get ahead and stay ahead. And with that, they got the Vikings. So we've got, I love that by looking at it, we can see what both teams have in store, what their goals are going to be. But let's go ahead and introduce these teams. They're down 1-0. They've got to win this to be able to continue on in this tournament. They are Panda Global with Daihu on Johanna, Evan Drunde playing the Jaina, Moon on Kael'thas, Zeus playing Tassadar, and Lex Uther on Malfurion.
And we do have Claudius again on Leoric, Rafflecopter on Vala, Som on the Zeratul, and I've lost them in the middle of this fight and don't remember who I haven't introduced. D-Noob on Uther, and of course Jason on the Lost Vikings down there in the bottom lane.
Jason loves his Vikings. And he's once again got Viking hordes, so going to be looking to put on some pressure with those mercs, gather some stacks. For now, we're going to see them, looks like, staying toward the bottom, and eventually probably he'll go ahead and spread those out right before, right as those first two temples start to spawn.
I'm interested in looking at what kind of synergy is going to be built for Team Blaze around Leoric. No clues yet, but just trying to think of what they're going to do to pave the way to either use Entomb this time or for March of the Black King. I think Entomb is a better pick here than it would have been in some of the other matches we've seen today.
Yeah, I'd really like to see the synergy with Void Prison. Like, if Zeratul's kind of up ahead and gets a good Void Prison down, then he could come in, throw an Entomb down, and then they would still have them kind of locked out, not being able to escape. Looking at who they have, they do have Johanna, though, who we've talked about is a difficult one with Entomb. They've also got Tassadar, who should be able to, I think, you should be able to dimensional shift out.
I think so.
But, you know, Kael'thas and Jaina don't really have too much, and neither really does Malfurion, other than to just drop Tranquility on himself and pray.
Right. We do have that first temple phase going on right now. The mid temple is going to Team Blaze at the moment. The top temple, hotly contested, not being owned by anyone for very long.
Yeah, Daihu's slowly kind of holding on to it a bit. Without their front laner, they can't really engage. But now, because they didn't have, they only had Leoric down bottom, they've actually lost this for the time being. Blaze have. But here comes Som trying to push Tassadar right back off. Claudia's going to hop back on there. So these temples are going back and forth a little bit. As now up top, Team Blaze is holding on again.
Yeah, we can see the experience has been very, very even, seesawing in the way of Team Blaze, just a little bit there at the end, but still very, very close. Top Temple still has some shots yet to be claimed, and we do see an engagement around here. Daihu is stunned, but probably will be able to get out of there. I don't know, the Salmon Claudius right in the way. Ooh, good body blocking from those two.
Man, both in that and in the Jaina takedown, because they had Olaf come in there and body block Jaina so she couldn't get out. So yeah, fantastic use of not only their abilities, but the space that they take up to be able to take down two heroes. They got the last shots, I believe, on both temples, so first temple phase definitely going the way of Blaze.
You can see that Jason is keeping those Vikings in each lane. Jason just up here hiding in the bushes on Olaf and hiding again in the bushes down here in the mid lane. So really making sure that he has the attention to focus where he needs it to keep those Vikings alive and keeping them hidden. Otherwise, that means that the soak for Team Blaze is going to continue to be solid.
Yeah, and that means that they do have the potential to be really aggressive like we see here. They're moving in. They're actually wanting to try to stop Panda Global from picking up these giants, or at least maybe even go in and contest them a bit. And they can afford to do that thanks to the fact that they do have those Vikings in lane. They are getting a soak. Nobody at all is trying to push those Vikings away. In fact, we have 4 members here of Panda Global. So the longer that Blaze sit here and stop them from picking these up, not only they steal them, but they stop them for so long from getting any sort of lane soak. Malfurion even thought about coming down and did start to do so. They weren't soaking any lane, and now we've got a half level of experience already for Blaze.
Yeah, like you said, any moment not spent in lane for Panda Global, as long as Blaze does have those Vikings in place, is going to be experience lost. And we talked about how important it's going to be for Team Blaze to reach that level 16 first. That's what really cemented their victory in the last match, and I'm sure they're looking to do it again.
Oh man, really good synergy there from Salmon Dinu, but almost picked up Lux Uther, but not quite. Those roots helping. That's really the best thing you can hope for when you're playing Malfurion at that level, is just to drop roots, run through them, and hope it catches somebody so that you aren't taken down. But looking at some talents, we do not have a mule. This is really interesting, actually. Tassadar did not take the mule. It was Malfurion who took it. So not going for Cleanse or even the regrowth talent. I believe it's Enduring Growth. Just instead going for the mule. So interesting to not have that cleanse there. They do have the mental acuity though, so that's going to help then be able to spot Zeratul a lot more, and Talstar will be able to drop that Oracle a lot more often. But I'm a little worried about without a cleanse, especially against an Uther.
Yeah, I mean, the Mule is really important, so maybe they felt like they needed to grab that and sacrifice that talent for Malfurion for someone else. But yeah, very interesting. And we lost Malfurion while I was looking at that. What happened, Gilly?
Oh, well, he got slowed down somehow, thanks to the Leoric, is my guess, and then was not able to get away. Does not really have much escape there, and that was my concern. Both Malfurion and Kael'thas really don't have much. Neither's just Jaina, other than to, you know, just try to throw her abilities down and slow people down. Malfurion and Jaina can get Ice Block at 13, but it's still not great. And now we've got heroic abilities for Blaze. Still going to have March of the Black King, as well as Strafe, Void Prison, Longboat Raid, and Divine Shield. So we'll see how they make that March work without their Arthas.
Yeah, but I'm going to love if they use Void Prison into March of the Black King again. I think that was really, really great for them. And they can use Zeratul instead of the Jaina to follow up on that with a little more damage if needed as well.
Yeah, especially with Strafe. Strafe plus March of the Black King is going to be
true.
a lot of damage for sure. And people are going to be trying to run away from the March, so they probably won't be trying to run into and like throw some stuns really quickly down to stop that Strafe. Although they do have Johanna, so she can condemn and try to stop it that way. Now we have heroic abilities for Panda Global. They're going to get the Water Elemental, Archon, Phoenix, Blessed Shield, and Tranquility. So even terms, but only for a level for them.
Yeah, we saw some sniffing around that boss. It's a bit early yet for that boss on this particular battleground. That is one that can really turn the tide. Both teams respecting that. And now we see a push coming from Team Blaze. The Mule did go down around that fort, but they are trying to take it down faster. If they can manage to do that, it's really going to help if they go into another temple phase. We see Leoric getting very far forward. He's going to get a gravity lapse, but he's still going to be able to sustain through it. Jason on the Vikings getting very low as well. Ooh, and even... Oh, where did he go? Did he Wraith walk out? He did! Claudius escaped!
Poor Balog will not, but Claudius does get away. Rafflecopter's being chased by a snowman. That's pretty much everyone's worst nightmare. Good gravity lapse, drop Claudius right into the roots. So for now, Panda Global doing a great job of defending this fort. If they can just get Team Blaze to lay off the fort, they can drop their mule, but they've got to, it's like a constant vigil here to protect it until Blaze kind of just realizes that they can no longer engage and will back off. And then now they're doing so. Temples have spawned, so we should see the mule going down. However, this might be difficult to save if Blaze goes for that bottom temple.
Yeah, they really were trying to get as much damage done before that temple phase as they possibly could. Looks like they're feeling very confident in their ability to grab that temple. Rafflecopter will do so right away. D-Noob is there to zone. This lane is very important to keep pushed out when you are holding this temple. And there's a row of Team Blazers here waiting, lying in wait in the bushes to snatch up a Panda Global member who dares stray.
Yeah, the mid fort went down despite Panda Global's best efforts to defend, and they couldn't really contest that temple, knowing that their opponents were up a talent here. They are doing a really good job. They've got Zeus up here though, and they're starting to do some work to this top fort of Blaze, and Blaze doesn't have a mule, so any damage is real damage, and that's pretty nice. Looks like they're going to try to rotate up and continue defending their structures. Tassadar had to get out of there. A bit unfortunate for them. Like I mentioned, they do not have 13, so they're not feeling very confident about an engagement here.
I wanted to call out as well that Claudius was so healthy thanks to D-Noob really focusing on keeping him alive. He is a warrior that is fairly squishy if left alone, and he really can't handle a front line by himself without going undying for too long. So really good synergy there as well.
And Claudius, it might be in over his head, but it looks like so far he is going to just go ahead and give up those bruisers for trying to get some takedowns. He's rooted here. He's taking a lot of damage from the Archon, but will be able to Wraith walk away. So maybe a little scary of an overextension there, but we're able to recognize very quickly that it was going south. They didn't try to stay on that cap point. They went ahead and gave up those bruisers and walked away with their lives. I think a really good good assessment of the situation they were in by Blaze, and realizing that although they are ahead, they could give up that lead very easily.
Yeah, and the aggression, even if it didn't accomplish anything numbers-wise, is good psychologically. They're keeping a constant scary pressure on their opponent's Panda game, Panda Global. So a psychological win, if nothing else.
Yeah, and another one at that is that they have 15. So their opponents have picked up 13, but they are well on their way to the next talent tier. Looking at 13 for Panda, we do have a spell shield for Johanna, so still wanting to mitigate some of the damage that Blaze can do. Also, we've got the flamethrower as well as prescience, and then 2 ice blocks. So that is really going to help with if they start to get under that March of the Black King, they can just drop those ice blocks, and that will be very beneficial to try to mitigate some of that very high damage that Blaze is putting out with that Leoric.
That makes a lot of sense. We now have Siege Giants pushing in the bottom lane. Looks like Team Blaze well spread out around them, not really looking to push like a blunt force trauma type of situation with those Siege Giants. They've been really sniffing around this boss, and it looks like they are going to start engaging with it. Panda Global will answer the call. They're on their way. Psalm sees them, and he's running to join the rest of his team. The Void Prison goes off, though. It will take 3 of them out of commission. That means that Daihu by himself with Evandrinde can't do too much, but now it will happen. The Phoenix goes down. We do see Water Elemental contributing as well. The Viking Longboat Raid is doing everything it can to take down Daihu. Johanna will fall. Lex Uther also getting very low, trying to escape, but will go down. Zeus is away from everyone else, and actually, will he manage to take out Dinoob? He will, before he gets taken down as well.
I was really impressed with Psalm on Zeratul at the beginning of that. The fact that he realized that his teammates were on the boss, and he wasn't needed there. He knew that he could instead just go up and be kind of that mobile watchtower that we talk about, that vision ward, and then still run back, drop the Void Prison to let his team kind of get into position, set up, leash the boss so that the boss wasn't also engaging and wailing on them. Really good overall. They did lose their Uther, but they took down 4 for that 1 loss, so I think they're very happy with that. Now they've got the boss, they've picked up the Omni Temple that's going on as well, and they're moving in, gonna start trying to throw some damage, maybe even look toward this keep.
The Phoenix does some really good zoning. That means that the boss is going to be out front from Team Blaze for a little while and give Panda Global some time to get some hits off on it. But now Claudius is there, as well as Psalm and Rafflecopter. Claudius having no fear in this game, really pushing very far forward.
Yeah, there went the March of the Black King too. A very good zoning tool, pushing everybody from Global back, Panda Global back, so that Blaze could just wail on the keep, and they were able to take it out. So that is going to be catapults pushing in the bottom. That also opens up later on the possibility that if Blaze were able to get another boss, they could push straight to core, and that is always scary, to have an avenue open to your core already.
Yeah, the boss actually did get, I think, 1 or 2 hits on that core itself. And before leaving Team Blaze, grabbing even more damage and being, again, very aggressive. We saw Zeratul blinking in and out of there saying, "Ha, I'm behind your wall," and then leaving again. So, again, that psychological pressure from Team Blaze as well, not giving an inch.
Well, they do have, they've felt very confident in their engagements. They're still picking up talents that are going to keep them safe. They've got Consume Vitality on the Leoric, so that's going to keep him healing up, and just overall, just trying to work on making sure that they still are going to be sustainable in these fights, realizing that they just have to rely on Uther for their healing. They also do pick up Stone Skin for Zeratul, so not going for the double bombs, the extra damage. Instead, they're going to have that Stone Skin. That means that he can be very aggressive up there, and we see him right up in the front, in the midst of it. Vala, though, is going to go down. The Divine Shield went on Psalm, on that Zeratul, but Leoric fell too, so maybe a little too aggressive here from Blaze. Feeling pretty confident, but up against that level 16 Kael'thas.
Yeah, I was going to mention again that we do have the not completely health-focused build from Claudius. He does have Burning Rage, so he is looking to do lots of damage. And as the only warrior, it's interesting that he is not thinking about sustainability as much. He's thinking more about adding to the damage pool of his team.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Oh, the Burning Rage. Yeah, it's a cool pickup. I like that because he is so often right in the middle, especially with that March of the Black King. So it makes a lot of sense. I really like that pickup on Johanna too. It's not on this Johanna, but I think it's a really cool one since she often finds herself right in the middle of the action.
Yeah, she actually, Johanna, is going to grab the Holy Renewal, so her shield glare is going to heal her. She is, in fact, focused on making sure that she can heal and stay sustainable.
Yeah, she's got Holy Renewal and then the Spell Shield, too. So even though they've got the two very big spellcasters, still wanting to get every little bit of sustain and heals that they possibly can. Next Temple phase is up. Looks like for now we're trading, but Team Blaze are nearly 20. Now they've picked up their Storm Talons, and they could be trying to loop around here and pick someone up. Instead, they might just be going to try to take out this keep. It makes a lot of sense because the mule is already there healing it up, and they do not want to let the damage that they've put onto the structure just go to waste. So they're going to go in, be pretty aggressive here. They've got their Storm Talents, and will they be able to take it out? Yes, they will. And now will they be able to get away? Claudius going in with the March of the Black King. He actually picked up the Death March even, so that's pretty cool to see. It's the first time I've seen that as well, but they've got to get out of there. They are taking a lot of damage. A good Void Person's going to zone some of them. Boats, maybe they're going to get away? I don't know. Okay, they are. They might sacrifice some Vikings to do so, but they will be able to.
Man, the Death March being able to drain hope to all enemy heroes in the area did keep Claudius alive much longer than I thought. He is still fairly healthy. Will he finally be taken down now? Got some healing from D-Noob, but does finally fall. And that's not a surprise considering how long he spent in the middle of Panda Global's group.
Yeah, that was crazy how long he was there. Oh, so Vikings are starting to go down. There's a condemn into the gravity lapse on Olaf, but did he get cleansed? I do believe he did.
I do believe.
No, Flame Strike will take him out anyway, but I'm really liking these. Is this D-Noob also the one who put the Divine Shield on a Viking earlier on? I think it was. They really value the lives of these little Vikings.
Every man is worth saving in this particular team. Kael'thas will fall. Now Team Blaze is on the hunt, but Evan Drinde, who is Shrink Raid, was trying to do some damage, but actually got on the wrong side of that team. Will ice block, but only wait for her demise. Jaina will fall. And now we see Team Blaze having a pretty open way back into the space.
Yep, they're going to walk right up to core. 40 seconds until Kael'thas is up. Only Johanna and Lex Uther on the Malfurion remain. They're not going to be able to do too much here. The boat went down already. Shields are down. Lots of damage thrown onto the core. And this should be it. Game 2 in the series for Team Blaze, who really rocked their way through the tournament today.
Yeah, Team Blaze really loving that new hero, Leoric, making good use of him, and especially I really like you mentioned, the March of the Black King with the Burning Rage, and especially that level 20 buff that gives him the Drain Hope on top of the Burning Rage, that then cycles back into giving him healing for the damage that he's doing. That was really cool. I've been looking for new ways to try and use Leoric, trying to find his niche, and I'm definitely going to emulate some of that in my own play.
Yeah, that I've been hoping to see that Death March, but they've always picked up Hardened Shield anytime I've seen it. So like the minute I see him do that march, and then all of a sudden I see the Drain Hope go out like everywhere on everyone around him, I was like, what is that? That has to be it. I'm so excited we got to see it. I think probably Hardened Shield will still be the preferred one, but I think it was a bit of a fun pick. They knew they were ahead. They'd taken down the 2 keeps. They had heroes down. Leoric did an insane amount of hero damage. He topped the hero damage for their chart.
Well, and it's also worth noting that I think in order to do something like what he did in terms of that damage build, you need to have help in sustaining Leoric. I think Uther did an amazing job of keeping Leoric healthy throughout this game. And you can see Leoric was only taken down 2 times, which is an insane amount for Leoric. Because his Undying is kind of sometimes a crutch that people use in order to let him fall a few more times than you normally would a warrior. And only 2 takedowns for him is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I also really wanted to commend them earlier when they got that Kael'thas takedown. Was it around the Bruisers? It was somewhere toward the end of the game I was glad that they were able to do that because his damage was really starting to spike. And I was like, this guy, he has gathering power. He is starting to get very scary. They've got to watch out for him. And so being able to take him down and reset those gathering power stacks, I mean, I guess he didn't have a ton because... Oh, well, I guess... Oh, never mind. You can get them from the Lost Vikings. So he definitely was starting to get them up there. He had 67K. So it was very nice, a nice pickup from them to be able to take him down. But great job by Blaze. I'm very impressed.
Really strong showing this week. Really strong.
Yeah, and that means that they will get the top amount of seeding points. I'm being intentionally vague because I don't know that number.
I believe it's 10.
Nice.
I think I checked today. I think it's 10. 10 seeding points.
Excellent. Well, congrats to them. Do Panda also pick up some? I think it's first, second, and third, right?
Yes, they do. If I can find that quickly, I will let you know. I tweeted it earlier. I believe it's 8, but I will double check myself. Let me double check. Yes.
Well, good. Regardless, while you're looking that up, we can start talking about Heroes Hype and things.
It's 5.
5.
First place gets 10, second place takes 5.
That makes
Third
sense.
place will get 3, fourth place also 3, and then beyond that, a big zilch.
Yeah.
No, none for you.
Well, good job to our 4 teams who were here today who were able to pick up some seeding points. One more Heroes Hype chance to be able to get those will be next week, so don't forget you guys can sign your team up and look to pick some of those up. Don't forget, guys, I mean, even if you're like a newer team and you're interested in maybe doing the Heroes Hype stuff, it's completely like open. You can join it, and even the road to BlizzCon, if you can make it to the round of 32, you get a payout, which is really fantastic. All the way down to 32, get some BattleNet balance or some prize money. So it's definitely a great one. Both of them are really good ones to enter.
Indeed they are, and Heroes Hype, a great thing to support. Guys, please don't forget to click that follow button, click that subscribe button. You'll be rewarded with a nice little Pika face emote that you can use to jam with all of us during Pika breaks. It's one of my favorite things.
Pika breaks.
Yeah, and also want to thank, of course, Follow Esports, our sponsor. They have been fantastic to help us do what we do every week.
Yes, thank you so much, Follow Esports and Heroes Hype who had us here. Guys, you can also check out heroeshype.com to be able to sign up for the tournament or to see esports and community updates. If you want to follow me, you can follow me at GillyweedSC2 on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Anna and I have a Heroes of the Storm show called On the Storm that is every Thursday, so we'll have another episode of that tomorrow. And I believe we're going to have Panda Global's Warrior player hanging out with us tomorrow, Daihu, so something to look forward to. I'm very pumped about it.
Yeah, me too. We're going to learn about dual warrior compositions as well as focus on Leoric. So this is a very apropos show to watch right after this Heroes Hype particular Challenger Series week.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Anna, for all of your other Heroes things, where can people follow you?
I do stream every day as much as I can, but I'm all over the place on different channels. I'm either here or on Misclicks or on my own channel. The best way to keep up to date with where I am in a particular day is to follow me on Twitter at AnnaProsser. You can also find links to all my other stuff everywhere else I am on the internet is at AnnaProsser.com. And I am going to stream directly after this, so if you want to come hang out with me and play some goofy heroes, I will be on twitch.tv/AnnaProsser. What about you, Gilly?
Definitely Twitter is the best way to find me, GillyweedSC2, but I do stream Heroes as well, which is also GillyweedSC2 on Twitch. That's every weekday at 3 p.m. Central, except some Mondays. So come hang out, it'll be fun. But go hang out with Anna. Have a blast, Anna. I hope your stream goes wonderfully. Maybe you can show everyone how to play that Leoric.
I don't know about that, but I can play him. I can click the button and I can put him in a game. So at least I can promise you that.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys have a fantastic night. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.